This is an N Perm, the worst PLL algorithm, and this is what made Timon Kolosinski lose Monkey League champion and world champion. Let's figure out how. This specific N Perm is called the NB Perm. There are three main algorithms when doing this N Perm, and I'm going to show you all of them. So the one that Timon uses and most people use goes like this. A little faster, it's like this. So it's not that good of an algorithm. As you saw, I locked up a ton, and it uses wide moves, D moves, and regular R moves. The sad thing is this is the best algorithm, even though it is a trash algorithm. The next algorithm goes like this. You start off with an R move, and you started off going like a JA perm. And right here, you actually do this, and then you just repeat the first half of the algorithm again. This is a very short algorithm, but it's RU and L moves, which is very hard to do really fast, and that's why a lot of people don't do it. Yes, it's only 14 moves, but it's not able to do fast. The only notable cuber that actually uses this algorithm is Max Park, which good for him that he's able to do it pretty fast because he has a really fast TPS. The last N Perm, which is the most popular one about 4 or 5 years ago, goes like this. This was the best algorithm, but even though it's only RU and F moves, it is super hard to do fast because there's like 2 major regrips in there, and it's not a very fast algorithm. It's also 17 moves, which is a pretty high move count for a PLL, so that's why most cubers prefer not to do it. Now that you know what the N Perm algorithms are, let's analyze Timon solves to show you why he lost the Monkey League Championship and the World Championship. So since the World Championships happened first, let's talk about the World Championships first. Across the first 3 rounds, Timon only podiumed once, and of course going into this competition, he wanted to win because then he would be World Champion. This was obviously nerve-wracking to him because he was thinking to himself, am I gonna win the World Championships? Because he has a legitimate shot at winning it. In the 3rd round, he got a 5.79 average, placing him in 4th, going into the last round as the 4th seed. He knew he had to perform even if he wanted a chance at winning the World Championship title. He went head-to-head with Madi Hiroto Inaba. On the first off, he messed up and got a 6.61. Of course, this is not good. If he counts the 6.61, that means he is for sure not being world champion, as the world champion will probably get under a 5.5 average. He knew he had to clutch up these next couple solves. He then followed it up with 2 sub-5s and a 5.0, making his best possible average 4.77, which is sub his PR average. This is of course very stressful because 1, you can PR in the finals of Worlds, but 2, you could also count that 6.6, which makes it so you don't even podium. On top of that, all Timon needed was a 6.18 or better, and he would secure the win for Worlds. And under all this pressure, this happened. On the solve, Timon reached last layer at 4 seconds, which means all he needed was a under 2-second last layer, which is easy for Timon, right? He's super efficient and has a high TPS. But then he got this last layer that I'm going to show you in this reconstruction right now. On the solve, Timon did the red cross, so before scrambling it, what we should do is take the white cross and put it where red is, right here, and then we can do the scramble that is on screen and will be in the description right now. On the scramble, Timon wanted to go for an X cross using this pair right here. So you have a corner connected to the edge. You have the edge right here. Then you have your 3 other cross edges right here. So Timon started by inserting this orange cross edge first, and then moving this edge right here on top of its color. You then can do this to pair up this little block right here. What I thought he was going to do is do a D2, and then insert this block right here, making that little block right there. But he did something even smarter. First, he did U wide prime, and then inserted this edge right here. So these 2 are across from each other. And then he did D prime, and then insert this block. So now he solved 3 cross edges and an F2L pair. He then rotated, and then inserted this last cross edge like this. from right here, this doesn't look that good. He saw this pair right here. He rotated and solved it like this into the front slot. He then also had this pair, very basic, solved it like this, and immediately rotated to solve this pair right here. He then had this OLO. This OLO paired with an N Perm is not that good, so this was a very bad last layer. He did this OLO with a regrip and then went into this algorithm like this, and then had an N Perm. He first aligned the N Perm and then did the N Perm algorithm. Something cool about this OLO with an N Perm, even though it's not that good, you could actually cancel into it because you do this, and right about here, instead of doing wide R, you actually can cancel the first move into the N Perm like this. The thing that's bad is you don't know where AUF is because you canceled into the N Perm. So I'm assuming that's why he didn't do it. Another application for this OLO is you can actually force a ZBLO with it. So to force a ZBLO, instead of doing this OLO, you actually do this OLO like this, which goes like this. And when you do that to this OLO right here, it gives you a ZBLO. And for this ZBLO, this is a really nice ZBLO. It looks like a Z Perm pattern from right here. And you can notice it's a T case. And what you do is you do anti-soon like this into back anti-soon. And then just a U to finish it off. This would have been a better last layer, but in the heat of the moment, I don't think Timon would have noticed this, even though it was more efficient. Timon ended up placing third, getting a 5.42 average. Shortly after the World Championships got over, Monkey League started. Monkey League is an event hosted by Philip Lewicki, and it's on the Laser Monkey channel. I'll put a link to it down below. Basically, 5 of the best cubers in the world do head-to-head solves to see who wins. Timon Kolosinski and Yi Heng Wang made it to the finals. Timon clutched up the first set, winning it 3-1. Then, Timon lost the next 2 sets when Yi Heng caught fire. In this finals, whoever won 3 sets would be crowned the Monkey League champion, so Timon knew he had to clutch up this last set even if he wanted a chance. Timon won a solve, then Yi Heng won a solve. Timon then won another solve. Going into this 4th solve of the set, if Timon won, that means he would be winning this set and have a really legitimate chance at being Monkey League champion. But then, this happened.
Oh, and Timon's F12 is really nice. Does he have the last layer of 541? He had an N Perm, one of the worst cases. Oh, and Yihung's a bit locky on the F12, but it's so efficient, and the TPS is crazy at 492, and he ties up the set.
Another N Perm. Let's take a look at this solve. This solve is one of the most big brain solutions I've ever seen, and I'm surprised no one else has reconstructed. But let's go take a look at it right now. Coming over to the Monkey League scramble, Timon went for the yellow cross, and I think you guys can go for yellow cross. So let's do white on top and green in front and apply the scramble on screen right now. So when first taking a look at the scramble, this does not look that good, and somehow Timon went for a double X cross on the scramble. So when you first take a look at it, you can notice this edge is already solved in inspection, and when solving this cross edge right here, it solves this edge right here. So if we undo that, he decided he would solve this edge and this edge together by first moving the yellow and green one on top of it and then solving it like that. So you solve these 2 edges, and lucky enough, that pairs up this edge and corner right here. And the edge is already solved over here, as I said earlier. So you can just do a D, insert this edge right on top of it, and doing a D prime solves this edge. But wait, when we solve this edge right about here, if we add one more move, it actually solves this corner right on top of it. So now if we do the last move, it now solves a double X cross. Timon then saw this and just inserted it like this into the back. We're going to come back to this point and show you something better you could have done. Timon then noticed this corner got solved with it and the edge is right here, so he decided to do keyhole, and he did a kind of like a rotation while doing a D2, so D2, and then he rotated like that. He then inserted this edge right here, which sets up this last pair like this, and then he did the same thing to rotate and do D2 at the same time. So he did D2 and a rotation. And then he solved this pair into the back like this. He then had this OLO, which he did like that, just the normal way, and then N Perm. So it was an insane solution, but the N Perm ruined the solve. So coming back to right here, after Timon is about to finish up his double X cross right here, you can notice that this corner actually attached to this edge, which would be super hard to see in inspection, but let's just say Timon was able to see it. So you would do a U2 and pair up this block kind of like this with an M move, and then you could just insert this block into the back like that, which ends up making a triple X cross. I don't think Timon would have ever seen that, but that would have been a cool solution if he was able to see that. And then one more thing, after inserting this corner right here, you can actually pseudo slot, which means solving this pair and this pair at the same time. So you can notice this corner is already solved right here. So if we just solved this edge right here, we can now just solve these two right here and right here at the same time. So actually, instead of doing that solution, it would be better to do this insert with the U2, because what that actually does is when we go like this to set up a pseudo pair, it actually makes a free pair right here, which you can insert like that, then do D2, and now you just did pseudo slotting. So a double X cross into a pseudo slot would be an insane solution. So even with that insanely efficient solution, it was all ruined with an N Perm. So yeah, after this solve, Yi Hang Wang ended up clutching up another solve after Timon got an E Perm, making Yi Hang Wang the Monkey League champion. So what can you learn from this video? Well, I have 2 tips of advice for you guys. So the first one is just learn the best N Perm algorithm, which of course at the beginning of the video I showed you. So it's the first algorithm, and use this one and get really fast. My second tip is a little more advanced, but is probably the most useful, and it is to one look the 3x3 solve and predict to not get an N Perm and inspect. Yep, that's pretty much it. Peace out, guys.